Okay, so first to understand about the RIP protocol, I want to discuss with you how actually the packet routed into the network. So to understand this, it is most important to understand how actually your packet forwarded from the router. So router have, here you could see this diagram, these two routers having its routing table. So this is a routing table for uh, the two routers, namely R1 and R2. So this R2 is connected somewhere into the network. See, and this R2 having two entries over there. So whenever packet received to this R2, router consult with the routing table, and from the accordingly he will get the interface number, and then the packet will be transferred to the respective through respective port. Okay, or you can say the interface. Now see here, if you observe this routing table, you can understand there is a mask value network address. So what it indicate? It indicate at the interface M0, it means here how many addresses are connected, but how these addresses can be calculated. So this mask is a 24. What does it mean? So the IP address size, you know, that is a 32-bit, right? So 32 minus 24. So 32 minus 24, that is 8, right? So 2 raised to 8. So if you calculate 2 raised to 8, you will get total 256, right? 256. So what it does it mean? There are total 256 addresses are there, and which are starting from 0, right? So for 140 24 7 dot 0, so dot 0 to dot 256. These many addresses are there. So whenever any packet is received to this router, what this router will do, he will check the address is in between 0 to 256 or not. For example, the address is received 140.24.7.124. So immediately this router look into the table, and according to the table, yes, 0 to 256, it is connected with the interface M0 and the address is 124. So immediately it is transferred to this network, right? So now the packet is received to this router. What this router will do then, he will check the IP address and accordingly transfer to the respective interface. So that time you will find all these routers are uh, arranged ascendically in ascending order. In ascending order, now the first is 0, the second one is 64, and third one is 128. So in from which interface the packet will be transmitted? Because our we have considered 124, right? Dot 124. So the packet will be transmitted by the interface M1, this M1. Why M1? How the M1 is chosen? So simple. We have already seen what is the use of mask value. Here the mask value is 26. So 32 minus 26, 32 minus 26, that is a 6, right? 32 minus 26, that is a 6. So 2 raised to 6, 2 raised to 6, the value would be 64, right? So 64. What does it mean? For each interface, there are 64 addresses, right? So 0 to 63, that is, it means 64 addresses for M0, and then 64 to 127, 64 to 127, because this 26 mask value given, there are total 64 addresses. So 64 to 127 addresses, and our address is what? Received address is 124. So obviously it will transmit it by this interface, and this is the reason why the logical addressing required. Even the computer having physical address, but still, why the logical address required? It minimizes the minimizes the routing table information, right? See, and because of this, we can easily search a particular address, and very immediately the router can transmit a packet through the interface, respective interface. And this is the reason the logical addressing have design. Okay. So we understood here how the router maintain a routing table and how the packet transmitted into the network. The next thing, so you will learn all these things. So this kind of router maintain a routing table with him for the data transmission. So you will learn all these things in theory lecture. The mainly today we'll see about the RIP protocol. So, but to before understand RIP protocol, we have to understand what is an autonomous system. Okay. So here you could see the four networks are there. So you can imagine these four network, like this is our college network, this is a BSNL office network, because our network is connected with the BSNL office, right? BSNL is line. Again, we have connected with the Reliance. We have taken internet connection from the BSNL as well as Reliance. So you can consider this autonomous system is our college, and this is a BSNL network, and this is a Reliance network. So how actually we can divide our network into a different autonomous system? So it is a simple term is there. Autonomous system is a group of networks and routers under the authority of single administration. Okay. So the network and the routers, whatever the number of routers are there, all are under the one single authority. That network you can say that is a one autonomous system. Obviously, our college network is under the authority of our college. One administrator is there who is handling whole network. That is one autonomous system. Similarly, the BSNL office having their own network as well as the router. So that is the another autonomous system. Okay, because there is a one administrator who is handling it. Then the Reliance having their own administrator. So in this way, so and so forth, these are the different autonomous systems are developed. Now, in autonomous system, there are multiple routers are there, right? As well as in between autonomous system, there are routers. So actually, there are two different types of protocols we have to use. One type of protocol which update a routing table which are inside an autonomous system, and one different type of protocol which is required, which update a routing table which is in between autonomous systems. So when you will learn in theory, you will come to know why actually one protocol is not used for all the purpose. Actually, it having the limitation, obviously, right? So to it is it will become very complex if we will do this, because each computer having the limited resources, the router having limited resources, it is not possible, right? So that's why here there is a two types of protocol. One is intra-domain routing protocol, means inside an autonomous system. So inside an autonomous system, you will find these different router, right? So we will update this router by the intra-domain routing protocol, as well as inter-domain routing protocol, means which is in between autonomous system. In between autonomous system, so here you will find in between these autonomous system, these routers are there. So we have to update this information also. Okay, so these are R1, R2, R3, and R4. So it is the responsibility of inter-domain routing protocol who update this routing information which is in between these autonomous system. Okay. Now, so the RIP belongs to intra-domain or inter-domain, right? Now we'll move to the RIP. So see here, that intra-domain and inter-domain. Intra-domain means which is inside an autonomous system, and inter-domain means which is in between autonomous system. So RIP belongs to intra-domain routing protocol. See, so in this practical, mainly we have to understand this RIP protocol and OSPF protocol, and we have to simulate our network for the RIP. So we will understand the working of RIP with the Cisco Packet Tracer simulation. Okay. So to understand this RIP protocol is designed based on distance vector. and OSPF is designed based on linked state protocol. So actually, the distance vector protocol is we can say it is a theoretical protocol. Based on that, the RIP is designed because exactly the RIP works like a distance vector protocol. Similarly, the OSPF is designed based on link state, and the interdomain is border gateway protocol, which is designed based on path vector. Okay, so first we'll understand distance vector routing protocol so that we can easily understand RIP protocol. Okay, so distance vector routing protocol, it is a very simple routing protocol. You can easily understand the working of this protocol. Here if you can observe, there are multiple node are there. These node are nothing but like a routers. Okay, in RIP this node we can say these are the routers. Okay, but here these are the node. Okay, each node maintain a vector table. So this each node having its own vector table, and in vector table it maintain the information about the complete topology. This is we can say the complete topology, right? So this information you will find in a vector table like A itself, that's why the cost is 0. But B, what is the distance? That is a 5. So 5. Again for the C, it is a 2. Again for the D, it is a 3. And for E, it is a 6. So why 6 is only chosen? Why not? Because the path is like A, B, C, E. So it could be the 5 plus 4 plus 4, or A, B, E. It could be 5 plus 3, right? But why only this path? So minimum cost, right? So if you compare here, the minimum cost is this. So minimum value is chosen in a vector table, right? So see here, for each node having a own vector table. But actually it is not so easy, because initially each node knows about itself and its immediate neighbor. Imagine these are the routers, and if you are connecting one router with the another router, so this router may get the information about the immediate router which is connected, but this router will not get the information about another router which is beyond his connectivity, right? A could not understand about E because it is not directly connected, but A is connected with the C, so he get the information from the C, but not get direct information from the E. So that's why the first step is what? The initialization. Initialization means, for example, if any router is not working, so you replace that router with the another router, or you brought a new router and connected into the network. So that time the router will get the information about itself and the immediate neighbor only, right? So in initially, the each router knows about itself and the immediate neighbor. So see here in this table, E is not known to A, right? Because it is not immediate neighbor. Like a D, D knows about only the A, and he don't know about C, don't know about B, don't know about E, right? Infinite, infinite. So initialization first step. So how this node will get the information about another node? So that's why the second step is what? That is sharing. Okay. So the second step is sharing. So now in the sharing, what we will do, each node share its table with the immediate neighbor. Like A shares a table with the B, C, and D. Similarly, C shares a table with the A, B, and E. And after sharing, each node get the information about a node which is not directly connected, right? Obviously, when the A shares his table with the D, so D will get the information about C, about B, right? So in this way it works. So initialization first step, second step is sharing, and the third step is updation. But how actually this table gets updated? So here you can see this is a table which is received from C. 240 infinite 4. You could see here 240 infinite 4. So C shared this table with the A. But while the C shared, node C shared its table with the A, this table gets modified. Like here, the because to reach a table from this node to this node, the cost 2 is added in every value. Like here 2 plus 2 4. 4 plus 2, 6, 0 plus 2, 2. So here you could see, while the C moved from C to A, 2 value is added in every value. So 2 plus 2, 4, 4 plus 2, 6, so on and so forth. This table modified. Then what the node A will do, A having its own table, right? A having 0, 5, 2, 3 infinite, right? So 0, 5, 2, 3 infinite. So A having its own table. So how the node A update its table? So while updating, always node A compare his table with node C and he applied two rule. So what are the rules? First one is choose the smaller cost and if the same, keep the old one. So what he will do, will compare 4 and 0. So according to rule, choose the smaller cost. So 0 will be chosen, right? Similarly, 6 and 5. So 5 is chosen. 2 and 2. So next rule, if the next node entry is same, the receiving node chooses the new row. So if the same, so that time it will choose a new row, right? So simply put it the same value and it consider the next row. So 3 and infinite. So 3 is a smaller one. 6 and infinite. So 6 is a smaller one, but which is not directly connected. See here, which for the A knows, which is not directly connected. So that's why who have provided this information? Node C have provided this information. That's why the C is added here. So C is added. So in this way, node A update its table, and similarly, the remaining node B, C, D, every node update its table whenever they received a table from the neighbor. So this is the idea. Okay, so based on this, routing information protocol is designed. So how the in RIP works. So see here, each router having a routing table, right? As we have seen in a distance vector routing protocol, each node having a vector table. Similarly, each router having a routing table in which you will find the destination address, hope, and next. What is a hope? Hope means you are the cost. Like in distance vector, there is a cost. Similarly, in RIP, hope count means like a distance is defined as the number of links network to reach a destination. Okay, so number of networks you need to pass to reach a destination. That count is nothing but the hope count. Okay, and the next means, suppose if you want to send your packet to this network, but which one is the next router? This one is the next router, so R2. So that is the next router. So send a packet to destination network. Which router you need to send a packet to, send a packet respect to destination address. So that router address is nothing but the next address. Okay, so how it works? It works similarly like a distance vector routing protocol, right? Whenever uh, there is a change in the network, that time every router share its table with the immediate neighbor and or periodically. Periodically means after every 60 minutes, each router table share its table with its immediate neighbor. Okay. uh okay, so sorry, after every 30 second, periodically every router shares a table with the immediate neighbor, or whenever there is a change, as soon as this router is removed from the network and this router came to know, he will share this information with the all another router. So after, so in this way RIP work. Mm, let us discuss few example here how the table is designed. Like for the router R1, this is a table for the router R1. Now 130.10.0.0, which is connected directly. So hop count is 1 and next node is right. Again, this is a directly connected with the R1. No need to send packet to any other router. That's why it is dash dash. Now 195.2.4.0, which is connected through R2. So next node is this, the R2 IP address 130.10.0.1. So, and hoop count is 2 because in it need to cross a 2 network. to reach a packet. So hop count is 2. Okay. Similarly, the RIP in RIP protocol, each router maintain this routing table so that your packet can be transmitted into another network. Okay, so wait a minute. First, I will note down.